Watch out, drivers. AB5 might be in trouble.
Xbox,
Twitter, Uber,
Postmates,
Netflix, MoviePass,
Google, Facebook, eBay,
DoorDash,
Apple, Amazon, Airbnb,
The Apptrepreneur. Hey everyone, this is Kevin the Apptrepreneur, and just gonna give you like a heads up for this video. I've got a really bad headache. I've been actually lying down most of the day. I had to cancel an appointment, well actually a meeting that I was really very much looking forward to going to because of the headache. But this was brought to my attention, so I'm gonna get off the bed for 10 to 15 minutes, whatever it takes to discuss this. But if I seem a little slower, that's why. Now, we haven't talked about AB5 on this channel for a little while. For those of you who are not aware, although I don't know how you couldn't be, AB5 is a bill that has been proposed to the California government to amend laws to make it tougher for people like Uber, Lyft, Postmates, DoorDash, Caviar slash DoorDash, you know. It makes it more difficult for them to actually classify their drivers as independent contractors. They have to follow a lot more rules before you are independent. And if they don't follow all these rules to the letter, then you are an employee. There's been some miscommunication, like this will turn all Uber and Lyft drivers into employees, which yes, it would if Uber and Lyft didn't adhere to the rules. They can still keep us independent if they want, and this bill passes. It's just, will they want to? They're giving up a lot of freedoms at that point. Not that we're here to discuss that again. We're actually here to discuss the process, the status of the bill. Because the status of the bill is that it is suspended. Now, for those of you who want to track the bill, you can track it here. I'll link to this below. This is Bill Track 50. This is California AB5, Worker Status Employee and Independent Contractor. This is the summary. It was introduced 12/3/2018 in committee 8/12/19, and it crossed over 5/29/2009. Now, here's the action history that you can go over here. And by the way, you could also check out the voting system and everything like that. Here's the most recent action. In committee, refer to APR suspense file. And this was about a week ago. And someone actually had to point this out to me in the comments, and I had to look it up because I didn't exactly know what this meant. But I looked it up, and it says, what does it mean when a bill is placed in a suspense file? This is from cacities.org. The suspense file is a holding placing for bills with significant fiscal impacts. Bills are generally held on suspense file before each fiscal deadline so that each house can evaluate the total impacts to the state. Bills which are moved out of suspense then go to the floor, while bills held in suspense die. So, as you can see, this is not exactly the best place for AB5 to be. Now, does this mean AB5 is dead? No. It pretty much means, from the way I understand it, AB5 will have a huge fiscal impact on, the state. And it will. It absolutely will. Let's not pretend it won't. I mean, because we don't even know what's going to happen after it's passed. Will Uber and Lyft just leave California? Will they follow the rules? I mean, the drivers will definitely be getting paid more. So, I mean, it can have both positive and negative effects. Don't let the activists tell you differently. Now, just to let you know, again, I want to stress, I am definitely for drivers making more money. That's not what I'm saying. But one of the negatives could be Uber and Lyft could leave. Or, hey, they will actually classify their drivers as, employees, but they will cut back on the amount of drivers that they use. Or maybe they will let you have your independent contractor status, but, they will do it in a way. I don't know. There's a lot of things that could happen, because here's the thing. If they, pay drivers, better, but they fire more than half of them in California, well, that's going to have both a positive and a negative impact on, the fiscal year. It's not black and white. It really isn't. And I really wish Uber and Lyft would have done this themselves rather than getting the government involved, but here we are. So basically, they've suspended the file while they evaluate that, which is not uncommon. But again, here's the danger. If it stays in suspense, then it dies. And right now, we don't know exactly if it's going to come back or if it's going to come out of suspense or not. It's actually kind of interesting that no one's talking about this, because considering what a big deal this has been to a lot of media outlets and drivers and activists, I am actually kind of surprised this little nugget escaped people. It kind of escaped me, to be honest. But thankfully that person shared the link, and I'm going to be actually paying attention to this link a little bit more. I'll probably check up on it once a week now. But yeah, so this is it's going to be interesting to see what happens from this point on. By the way, I do love how like this has had over 6,000 views. Just to let you know, there are hundreds of thousands of Uber and Lyft drivers or gig economy workers in general in the country. And a little less than 7,000 has viewed this bill online. I mean, if you ever wonder, how can these companies get away with paying these bad wages? How can they get away with screwing people? How can they do this? How can they do that? Well, just there it is. The number's right there. It's because they don't care. Most people don't care. They're not even aware of what's going on. So I will let you decide whether that's a good or a bad thing. In the meantime, I would like to know what your thoughts on all of this is. So comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe. If you enjoy my videos, consider becoming a Patreon member. It's totally optional, of course, but even as little as $1 a month goes a long way to helping the channel run smoothly, and you get access to my Patreon's exclusive blog. If you want more content from me that's not rideshare related, check me out at Kevin T. Rodriguez, the Apptrepreneur vlogs, and Autograph Hound YouTube channels. And if you want to talk to me or other fellow rideshare drivers about this, check us out at the Apptrepreneur Hangouts on Facebook. And as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.